The topic of this video is working with the properties of logarithms. Let's look at a problem. Write the natural log of x over x minus 6 plus the natural log of x plus 6 over x minus the natural log of x squared minus 36 as a single logarithm. Okay, let's begin. The first thing that I'd like to point out is that all three of our logs say natural log. And you might recall from a previous video that a natural log is a log of base e. So all of these logs have the same base. They are all log base e. If we wanted to, we could write this as log base e of fraction plus log base e of fraction minus log base e of x squared minus 36. Okay, so we're first going to start by using Rule 6. Rule 6 says that when we have two logs being added with the same base, we can combine them into one log just by multiplying the arguments together. So this will give us the natural log of x over x minus 6 times x plus 6 over x. Of course, we still have the rest of the problem, minus the natural log of the difference x squared minus 36. Simplifying, we notice that we have an x up top and an x down below. So when we combine these two fractions into one with multiplication, we're able to cancel those x's. Both of them turn into the number 1. Anything times 1 is itself. So we now have the natural log of the fraction x plus 6 over x minus 6 minus the natural log of the difference x squared minus 36. Okay, now we're going to use Rule 7. Rule 7 says when two logs with the same base are being subtracted, you can combine them into one log using that same base. You just have to divide your two arguments. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're using Rule 7. And so we're going to get natural log of, we're going to divide this fraction by this difference. So I'll have x plus 6 divided by x minus 6, all divided by x squared minus 36. Now x squared minus 36 is not a fraction, but we can write it as 1 by putting a 1 under it. And then we just have to remember the rule for dividing fractions, which is to keep, change, flip. So this will be the same thing as the natural log of keep the x plus 6, x minus 6, change the division into multiplication, flip this over. Now we can continue to simplify with factoring. This difference of squares, x squared minus 36, can be rewritten as an x plus 6 and an x minus 6. So we get the natural log of x plus 6 over x minus 6 times 1 over x plus 6, x minus 6. Combining these two fractions into one, I'm going to use a little bit of a shortcut here. I'm just going to extend this fraction bar so that it touches that one and then put parentheses around factors that have neighbors. Now I can see that this x plus 6 will cancel with this one. So up top, I'll be left with a 1, and down below, I will have x minus 6 and another x minus 6, which I can write as x minus 6 squared. So I'm going to get the answer natural log of the fraction whose numerator is 1 and whose denominator is x minus 6 in parentheses squared.